Peace and blessings. So I wanted to come back and talk a little bit about women of God who claim to be followers of God, no matter what your belief or religion is. We need to be mindful and make sure that we are following God and His will, His purpose, and His intent for our lives as women, wives, and mothers, especially in the way that, not especially, because following God mentally, spiritually, and physically is important, but right now I'm speaking of the physical, and that's in the way that we dress, the way that we present ourselves to the world, because we can mess up our clothes speak before we do. I'll just say that. And if you look like the world, people are going to look at you like the world. They're going to treat you like the world before you have the opportunity to even present yourself, verbally to others, and they can get to know you for who you really are. That's one reason. Another reason is, there's something wrong with coming as you are to church when you're new and you're hungry for God, and you're trying to change. And I know that change doesn't happen overnight, but at some point there should be a change, and there should be a distinction in the way that you dress as opposed to the way that you used to dress, or a distinction between the way you dress and the way the world dresses, because now your dress should be in such a way that it brings, first of all, respect to yourself, respect to others, and honor and glory to God, and that you can attract attention to your heart condition, your mind, your spirit, and not your body. That's very shallow. It's it's temporary. Those things fade with time. Physical beauty fades with time, but a woman who's spiritually beautiful is priceless. That's a virtuous woman, and so your exterior should mirror that internal beauty, or I'll say that your heart condition, or your let me get it right. Your heart condition is just the way that you dress. The way that you dress is just a physical manifestation of your heart condition. There we go. I'm sorry. And so that's another reason. Third, the way that you dress, when you dress in short skirts, dresses, your strapless or the spaghetti straps. Let's see, what else have I seen? You're showing your cleavage, or like some people, I've seen almost all of their boobs in church or anywhere. They have on all these stilettos. They got on the nails out to here. Makeup, so much makeup on, it's ridiculous. You look like a clown, or unrecognizable when it's off. So many colors in your hair that, again, you just look like a clown. That you just look like a, I don't know. It's hard to take you serious and to see your real beauty when you're so masqueraded in this facade. Really, we can't see the real you in your real beauty. It's a distraction, and especially for men who are trying to overcome sexual temptations. A lot of men do battle with that, and then it's just natural for a man to be attracted to women and her womanly parts. And a man is not going to tell you, hey, you need not dress like that. I'm speaking of the pastors. There are some pastors do address this issue in their churches, but not many. But for the most part, it is up to us women, especially the older women, to set the young ladies aside when they come to the church, or in our families. You know, the mothers, hey, tell your daughters this is not the way that a real lady, a real girl dresses, because you can easily be what's the word I want to say? Disrespected and not taken seriously and taken advantage of. But the older ladies, the mothers, you know, the aunties, we can't correct our younger girls because we're not right ourselves. Again, we dress like this in the church. We got tattoos everywhere. In the church, we dress so that we can show the tattoos. You know, everything is about the vanity. And we dress like this. We go to school. We go to work. It's unprofessional, you know, when you're dressed like a streetwalker, a hooker. There's no distinction anymore. Back in the day, you could say, oh, this is what, you know, hookers wear. This is what prostitutes wear. But now, prostitute clothing has become the norm. And we're putting this clothing on our little girls. Also, another reason is, you know, these clothes that are made and sold in the stores are made by people. A lot of them are men, you know. Of course, you know, men want to, their clothes are made to sexualize the woman. But in that, not just the men and the women that are, you know, making these clothing. Yes, the clothing is made to accentuate the woman's, her boobs, her hips, and all of that. And so a lot of us, and some of us have a lot more to work with, and we're squeezing into these clothing, and we just don't care. We have no shame, we have no decency, and we're just out of order. And it's just really, I cringe when I go, especially to church. It shouldn't be worn out anywhere, but I think that, you know, the church is not sacred anymore. You used to could say that, you know, you had church clothes. I remember growing up, you had your church clothes and you had your school clothes, and then, you know, you had your going out clothes or whatever. Now the church clothes are your going out clothes. Hey, we going to the club, or hey, we going to the movies, you know, with our, you know, boyfriend or whatever. It's the same clothing, and we just really need to be mindful of that. And then, you know, the question we should ask ourselves is, if God was knocking on our door, would we go to the door and answer in the attire that we have on? Because, you know, Mary, the mother of Jesus, she was one of the most virtuous women we know, right? And, you know, look at how she dressed, how the women in those days dressed. They didn't dress like that because, you know, they didn't have any style, or it was just back then, way long ago, when people weren't into fashion. I don't know, whatever you may be thinking, but they dressed like that because that was the standard, and that was what they considered a woman to be dressed like, and how a woman should present herself and carry herself and dress herself. They didn't dress to, you know, be sexy. They dress to be seen as a woman, you know, as a mother, a wife, the helpmeet of the husband, the second self of God, you know, as a virtuous woman, a woman who is more precious than rubies. and all the most expensive things in the world. She's on another level. She's elevated. And I don't know. That's what I want to share now. And yeah, until next time, peace and be blessed.